Hi guys, it's LSP. It's currently the 20th of January, Sunday, 2019. It's 11:02 in the evening. The market's been open for an hour and a few minutes. Not the dollar index, but the euro and the cable. So I'm going to keep this short and sweet. I'm not going to go into it too much, but we marked off this level, or I marked off this level, 96. And if I drop down to the daily, you can see it. This is a dollar index, obviously, as I said, and you can see we drove up there a few times, here and here, and then we had a really nice push last week, which would have been Friday, into the 96, big figure. So before I carry on, guys, I mean, you've seen obviously the last couple of weeks, and I'm not always right, obviously, but the last couple of weeks since I've been back on the scene, so to speak, and I've been doing the videos and putting out the market reviews and so on, that I've pretty much nailed every price point, since I started putting the videos back out there. And there's two reasons for this. Obviously, it's not luck. That's just get that out of the way now. The reasons are, number one, understanding order flow. Okay, there's lots and lots and lots of different ways of reading price action. Some people use indicators, positive divergence, negative divergence, and moving average crossovers and so on and so. It's not necessary to be arrogant and say, well, mine's the only way. It's not. There's just loads and loads and loads of ways to read price. I know somebody else who can do what I do in terms of reading price, and he uses MACD and stochastics, I believe. No, MACD and RSI, and he's pretty accurate, very, very accurate with with the price points and the price levels that he reaches, and he picks the direction pretty much 80 maybe to 90% of the time. He's getting it right. But when I talk to him about what I do, it's like, nah, I'm not interested. It doesn't make sense to him. And everybody has their own way of reading price. But I do believe there's a generic way of reading order flow. The second reason that I'm pretty accurate with the price levels is that I've been blessed with a very good memory, and I remember for the last, let's just for argument's sake, 20 years, say, I've been trading 20 plus years. Hasn't always gone my way, obviously, but during that time, I've seen a lot of price action. I've seen a lot of charts, and I'm just, good at remembering the way that price moves. How can I say, the storyline behind price movement? That's what I'm getting at. Like, just for example, I'm looking at the chart now of the daily chart of the dollar index, and I look at all this here, and I just see a consolidation, and then I see a messy sort of downtrend, but then you can see it starts to accelerate. We start to get cleaner price action down here as it starts to drive towards what's it driving towards? Another level down here, and you just instinctively become accustomed to seeing price action a certain way, and it's kind of weird if you've ever been in a situation where you're looking at something and it just kind of just immediately makes sense, almost like you've done it before. That's what I'm getting at. So being able to read order flow is really, really important. But obviously, translating that higher time frame order flow onto a lower time frame, takes a little bit of time. A good example of that was last week when I was explaining the might have been the euro, I believe, on the hourly chart. When I was explaining this, being able to see this on an hourly chart, the up movement and the down movement as a wick or a tail on a higher time frame, and being able to transpose up and down like that in your head, just based on whatever chart you're looking at the time. It takes time, and obviously it's very important to be able to do that, but it takes time, and it's an experience thing. So, going back to the dollar index and what we've got coming into this week, as I see it now, we have a bunch of levels marked off, okay, and what I'm going to do is, I'm not going to do it now, but tomorrow, okay, I'm going to be resetting my charts, and I'm going to be starting again. And I'll show you how. Well, I'll show you some stuff. I'm not going to go into it now, but I'll show you some stuff that I like to do. But for now, you can see that, and I'll take the day dividers off so I can show you something. You can see this candle right here came down, and it touched this down candle. Okay, so just go with me on this. It doesn't matter why. It came down there, and it touched this down candle. Okay, it went up, came all the way back down, and touched almost the down candle again. So it's been there once, it's been there twice, and I'm simplifying things so much. Okay, really simplifying this. It's been down there once, it's come down there again, it's created a higher low, a higher high, and then we got some really nice lift into the daily green candle, the mean threshold of this green candle, and it's tapped it once. So I believe now at this point that, and I'm going to take this level off, and again remember I'm going to reset these charts tomorrow, but do it now, take that level off. Right now we've touched the mean threshold after respecting this level a second time. It didn't even touch it actually. We've had a really nice push away from that. Okay, we've hit this 96 level, so let's just assume that the price or the dollar index, whoever's holding price, is rebalanced. So we're at zero again. We're not up, we're not down, we're just at zero. Okay, it's at this point where we say, okay, so where is price likely to go at this point? The way I see it is we really don't know. We could go one of two ways. It could just be going up here, okay, to get a bunch of shorts, and then come back down to take out this low, and start to eat into this inefficiency, and this down candle being the final terminus, 94.15 to 94 big figure. Or it punches through this, okay, and this level then becomes a nice support level, and it starts to grind higher to the weekly high up here. At the moment, there's not really a great deal we can do. It's just literally just a waiting game, and I want to see how price opens in the dollar index. Let kind of Monday finish, see where I stand with that, or see where the price stands with that. Get a full day of price action. There is no news coming out tomorrow, so foreign currencies may make a little bit of a run against the dollar, but we'll see. I'm going to go into too much detail of what's going off in my head, because otherwise the video is just going to be so long. But for now, it's literally just a waiting game. Got to be patient. Tuesdays and Wednesdays, or Tuesday and Wednesday this week, we have some favourable news releases. So I'll be going into those tomorrow in a separate video, and what I'm going to be expecting, what I'm looking for. But I need to see Sunday and Monday finish, price action finish, do what it's going to do. I'm really not in a rush. Obviously, I keep saying this, there's no rush. There's no need, to kind of overdo things. It is literally just chill, let the market do what it's going to do, and let the market show you where it wants to go. We mark off price levels, and then we see how price reacts around those levels, and that gives us clues, as to what's happening and where the market's likely to go next. And that's literally where we're at. That's what we're doing. We're kind of playing the waiting game. The euro. These are the two levels that we had marked off last week. Okay, we've got these equal lows down here, and we have this down candle right here. Okay, why is this here? I'm not going to go into it, not now. I need to do a progression of videos over the next couple of months for you to understand why I put this level here. But for now, the easiest thing to explain is just I've got these equal lows down here. Okay, and we're just assuming that there is going to be liquidity below here. It's not an assumption, there is. There's definitely people that have their stops below here. Okay, and if price drives down there, it's going to knock everybody out and do what it needs to do in terms of their order books or whatever else. Okay, but that's besides the point. I just want to keep things really simple. Equal lows down here, lots of stops. So like I said, if price goes down there, starts to get close to this level here, then we can expect to punch through this level here. If it starts to grind higher, then I would imagine or expect price to stall at this level. But again, these are levels that we watch, we have on our chart. and then we're mindful of them as price unfolds. It gives us more clues, more clues, more clues until eventually we have the full picture. Then we can act or execute on a trade according to a logical, methodology. So again, just have to wait. This is a very sloppy mess, sideways consolidation on the euro. So I'm going to jump over to cable, and you can see we almost hit the 130, came quite close. Where we at? Well, we did hit 130, yeah. So 130. The weekly high was 128.74. Look here. Yeah, 130.07. 130.007. So what was I going to say? Yeah, so we're coming close. And again, guys, you see me mark this stuff out before the fact. It's not like I'm trying to be a smart ass. It's before the fact. There's a lot of uncertainty going on with Brexit and all this other stuff that's going on over here in the UK. So I'm quite surprised, in terms of cable, not the other pairs, but in terms of cable, I'm quite surprised in the way that price action has moved, because it kind of validates the theory, that the price is just seeking liquidity, really. Because if it wasn't, I wouldn't be able to pick out these points before it happened. So I'm gonna have to drill down to a daily, and you can see, we came up here, hit the whole number, had some really nice reaction away from that, but there's a lot of mess for this to get through. So cable's going to be a bit tricky this week, and I'm going to have to really let sort of price unfold, probably drop down to the hourly and kind of flesh things out a little bit, and get a better feel for what's going on. What I've opted to do is, in tomorrow's video, I will do a weekly review of last week's price action. Okay, and I'm going to go into some ideas on how we can kind of use that information to give us an idea as to where price should be reaching for, or is still reaching for, because remember, we're dealing with high time frame levels, weekly, sometimes monthly, but mainly weekly and daily levels, which means it takes time for these levels to be reached. So we can use the lower time frames we mark our levels on the higher time frames, and then we can use the lower time frames, hourly and 4 hour, to kind of flesh out the order flow. So for example, we flesh out the order flow on an hourly chart, and you can see it's almost like a stair-stepping process into a higher time frame level. But again, I'm not going to go into too much detail now. What I'm going to do tomorrow is I'll show you some little things that I do. I see them in my head. Obviously, I see them on the chart. I don't normally mark the charts off like this. I get a general idea, where price is going to go. I know the levels, because I can instinctively see it on the chart, and I see it all the time. And I'm always looking at the charts. I just know, I know they're there. Obviously, I'll mark them out because I want to visually show where I believe price is going. But when you flesh it out on the hourly, it's like that stair step into a higher time frame level, and the closer we get to that level, the easier it is to take a trade, and really think about what I've just said, because we'll just say it's gold. So if you need to rewind that bit, rewind it. So I'll leave it at that, guys. I'll do the weekly review tomorrow. I am a bit tired. I've been doing a lot of driving this weekend, so I'm going to leave it at that. I didn't want to go into too much detail at the minute, and tomorrow I'll expand on some ideas, and I'm going to kind of start to give you guys, a few little, I don't want to say tips and tricks because that makes it sound like some sort of gimmick. I'm going to give you guys just some basic ideas that you can implement into your trading pretty much straight away. They're very safe, and they're easy to implement, and it is all based on a storyline, from where we are. And remember, one thing that I've always been able to do is kind of see the order flow, past order flow, and where we're at within that order flow at that moment. Meaning, it's almost like, how can I say? It's like you're watching price. It's an intuitive thing, so it's a little bit difficult to explain. But it's like you're watching price, and you can almost see the buys and sells. I know that seems a bit stupid, a bit, like that's a bit over the top, but that's how I see it. So looking back, because I'm constantly in front of the charts all the time, and I'm always, on top of where we're at within price at that moment, I know where we've been previously. I've been watching it previously, so you start to kind of get that idea and that feel for, that order flow, and where we're at within that order flow. I know you can see that I'm really struggling to explain this intuitive idea. Let me see if I can try this way. Price is going down. I've been watching it. It's been going up. I know why it went there, and then it came down again, took out these equal lows. Then it grinded up higher in respect to this level, came up, down, all of this. And because I'm watching price, it came up, it took out this swing high, nice, moved back lower, came up, failure swing, starts to grind lower, 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 reaches this level, grinds back higher. I know where we're at because of all of that. I know where I'm at within, that stage. That's, we had all of this price action, and right now, because of all of this price action, that current order flow right now, I've got a better understanding of where it should be going. Now, obviously, it's at this moment in time where price has fulfilled an objective. It went up there and it's hit this 96 level, so we have to wait. But I still have all of that past experience of watching price action daily, 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 daily. That that helps you arrive at that, that moment where, okay, well, it's hit here, but it's not just going to drop and go to its death. We have some ideas, we have some clues. Price could go through this level, cleanly finish above the 96, big figure, and then we have more information. Now price should come down and start to respect this level. But right now we're at that level, so we have to wait. But again, we have the clues. We have lots and lots of clues. The higher high, the messy price action here, but then as it starts to come down, it starts to, to clean up a little bit, and it starts to grind nicely higher, and so on. As all of these are little clues, as to the bigger picture of which level is going to be hit first. Now, with that said, I'm going to leave it at that, and I will, like I said, tomorrow I'm going to do another video. I'll give you guys some ideas. I'm going to be fleshing out last week's price action and see if I can kind of, I'll give you guys some basic stuff that you can do and implement in your trading now. But when I do the fleshing out on the hourly and the 4 hour tomorrow, like with the higher time frame levels in mind, you'll kind of get an understanding of what I'm saying. It's just going to kind of hopefully open your eyes a little bit as to how I arrive at these levels, and slowly as time goes by, we can start working on entries and a few other little bits and bobs. But I'm not going to give it all away, just so you know. Alright guys, so I'll leave it at that. I apologise if I sound sort of monged out or asleep. I am tired, but I did say I was going to get this out, so I want to get it out. And I will catch up with you guys tomorrow. Alright guys, so take care. Any questions, info@lsptrading.co.uk. I'll be happy to answer if I can. Alright guys, take care.